Hey, it's me again, Halie Loren, here with another recipe video for 2018 Thanksgiving. I've got a lot of family coming for my Thanksgiving this year, so I'm gonna be making two pies. Actually, it's gonna be two of the same kind of pie, so it's gonna be a little easier and very decadent and changing it up a little from the last couple of healthy recipes that I've put out there. This one's definitely not in that camp. So, come along with me while we make some good old pecan pie. Okay, now I'm going to add the butter, 4 sticks. Because it's supposed to be 2 cups of butter. I always pre-slice it into like, I don't know, 1/2-inch slices just so that it's a little less arduous to cut it in once it's in the flour. This is probably a major pastry chef no-no, but I don't care. I learned this in my junior year of high school's culinary arts class, how to do this. I've never found it particularly easy, but it kind of gets the job done. This is super challenging. This is my favorite part. Pastry chefs must have extremely strong arms. It has a consistency of like, I don't know, it says pea-sized chunks. Then you're supposed to add an egg, lightly beaten. We're pouring this into a 1/2 cup measuring cup. We're adding vinegar. I'm using white vinegar. I've always just used white vinegar with this, but maybe you could use other kinds, I don't know. Like, probably not balsamic. So add a teaspoon of that to the 1/2 cup with the egg in it. And then we're gonna add some water. So we're gonna add enough water to where it fills all the way to the top of the 1/2 cup. What I always do is I make a little well, like dip in the middle of the bowl, put this in, and I stir it all together. It's barely sticking together. I think it's gonna work. It's always trial and error. 1 ball is for 1 crust. Even if it barely holds together in a ball, it'll definitely roll out, at least semi-easily. Rolling pin magic. Ooh. Wow. That's 3. Okay, we're on to making the filling. The best part, in my opinion. Well, since we're making 2 pies, that is, I'm going to double the recipe. So that calls for 6 eggs then, instead of 3. We're gonna do 2/3 of a cup of melted butter, 2 cups of corn syrup, light. I know corn syrup, but man, it makes the pie taste so good. It's all about decadence with this one. 2 cups of dark brown sugar and 2 cups of pecans, along with some other stuff, like vanilla and salt. So I've got 6 eggs now in here. Now this is doubling the recipe, so don't forget that. Normally for 1 pie it'd be 3. And now we're gonna set about melting the butter, and then I'm gonna mix these up a little bit and pour all of the ingredients into the pan. I'm gonna melt 2/3 cups of butter in this handy little saucepan. We got some good buttery stovetop action there. While that's melting, I'm just gonna do a little bit of lightly beating the eggs, which is what the recipe calls for. I generally just interpret that as like until the yellows are pretty much mixed in to where there's no major clumps of yellow that are sitting among a bunch of clear egg whites. I'm gonna put the eggs into the mixing bowl, which I called a pan earlier, which is silly. Butter is ready. I should probably put something not so hot in so it doesn't cook the eggs while I'm waiting to put the other ingredients in, because little flecks of scrambled egg inside of a pecan pie is not the idea. I might, even though, I mean, it's organic, it's still just sugar. Maybe it doesn't make any difference when it's something as unhealthy as sugar. Okay, I swear I know how to do this most days. So I've got some dark brown sugar going on here. So we're talking, this is 1 cup of firmly packed dark brown sugar, and I'm hoping that it doesn't make a big splash. Unlike the pie, which I hope makes a very big splash, the sugar is very chewy. Here's another cup right there. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. It's the end of the bottle. We're gonna also put in the butter now that it is cooled down enough. I'm just gonna estimate because I don't have a 2/3 teaspoon measuring spoon. I don't even know if that exists. But maybe it does. Maybe somebody's kitchen's got one of those. If that's the case, lucky you. So I've got just shy of a full tablespoon, or full teaspoon. I swear I know my measurements. We're gonna use that. And I'm gonna use this to blend it out. That's what it looks like. It looks like chocolate pudding. All right, rolling out the dough. I need this. I also like to use this giant cutting board. We have our 2 pie crust dough sources here. They are relatively cold. We're gonna be rolling out 1 at a time. Who does 2 at a time, really? So I've got some flour in this bowl. We're gonna sprinkle that, cover the entire surface for rolling out like this. First ball of dough. Try to get this into kind of a disc shape. And when it's pretty much flat, that's when I start to use the rolling pin. So coat that in some flour. It's already sticky. Definitely make sure that you have plenty of flour on hand to keep sticking to a minimum. I have this little pastry cutter thing, this pastry blade. It's flat, it's not sharp, but it has a little bit of an edge so that it can just kind of get under. And I loosen up the dough that's being rolled out so that it doesn't stick like glue to the surface underneath it. It's not quite long enough to reach all the way under there, so we're gonna go to another source of tool here. My spatula! See, that is awesome. Just squeezed a little bit of extra flour under there. I do have a couple of little cracks in it, and so this is what I do when that happens, because you don't want that. you want to patch those over. So I just take a little bit from the edge that I'm not going to be using anyway. Put a little bit of water where the crack is happening on the dough, and then put a little bit of water on the piece of extra, and then patching it. You could, I guess, roll it out, but I just like press it on. So the water helps one stick to the other. What happens if you don't patch those cracks is the filling, which is very liquidy, it's just gonna seep right through into the pan. When you're trying to get a piece of pie out, it's just gonna be kind of caramelized sugar sticking to the crust of the bottom of the pan. That's not a good thing. Okay, so that should be good. So what you do in order to make sure that you've got the right amount of dough, you take the pie plate that you're going to be putting this amount in, and then you will cut around it, leaving about an inch. So I'll show you. About an inch of extra on the outsides. But you just want to do that all the way around, and that's going to ensure that you can do the whole folding it over and doing a pattern or just doing a basic edge with a fork. And I'll show you what that's like, because that's pretty much what I do now. I used to do fancy stuff, but nobody cares so much when they're eating it, whether or not the edge looks fancy. So what I do, and I learned this a long time ago from a teacher, is fold it without tearing it, preferably, very carefully over on itself into a half or into quarters. We'll see. Oh, and I tore it. Okay, so we're just gonna pat that then. No biggie. It's ruined! Okay, that is plenty big. Now the fun part. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm folding the extra. The extra, which is like this little hanging part here, and I am folding it underneath. And voila! And I'm just gonna do the classic fork thing. Just enough pressure to indent it. And it's not perfect, but like I said, nobody seems to care when they're eating it. But if you want to go all out and look up on Google how to make different kinds of designs on your pie crust edge, then go for it. You'll have plenty of pieces of dough left over to like create design and stuff if you want to do that. It's just time consuming. I don't care right now because I have 2 pies to make and a bunch of other stuff. So that's what it ultimately looks like. I usually just do 1 pie for Thanksgiving, but like I said earlier, I think we've got a really big group coming this time, and I don't want there to be any fights breaking out over the pecan pie. Because that happens. You haven't tried this pecan pie, so if you did, you'd understand. And that is what it looks like. Okay, so when you got the pie crust ready, I'm preheating the oven right now to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're gonna do is put the pecans in first, before you put the rest of the filling in. So it's asking for a heaping cup. So they're pouring out of the cup. And then we're gonna sprinkle those on the bottom of the pan. So what happens sometimes with crust is that it cooks faster than the filling. And if you want the filling to be done, you sometimes will get a burned crust in the process. What some people do, and I started doing it myself, is you can buy something called a pie crust guard, I think is what it's called, or you can make it out of aluminum foil. It's just a little harder to kind of make it work when you're making your own, but cheaper. The oven is ready. I'm gonna pop this one in there, and we're gonna put pie number 2 in the oven. It's gonna bake from either 45, well, it says 45 to 50 minutes, but I've rarely had it be so fast, and with 2 in the same oven, it's probably gonna take longer. I always set the timer for 45 minutes, and then you will test it. You stick a toothpick into the middle of it, and if it comes out relatively clean, then you're good to go. Okay, so let's see how these are doing. They look pretty good to me. It seems like it's pretty firm, like when you jiggle it, it doesn't jiggle a whole lot. Insert a toothpick into the center and it comes out relatively clean. That's how you know it is done-ish. Well, we are all done. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make this particular kind of pecan pie, and if you end up making it for yourself and or for your own guests, I hope that it's very, very delicious for you as well. Bon appetit!